long time ago, when I was playing Duel Links, there was a pack that got released and released a card like in the UR slot that really interests me, and there's right now. But yeah, I'm wondering how can I utilize this card? Well, at this day, I still haven't really used this card in Duel Links, but mainly because there isn't really much to do with it. However, when here in Master Duel, when one of the main decks that I decided to make after the whole Blue Eyes thing, and you have to try to make a Necros deck and trying to dig a Drytron deck with Cyber Dragons. No, the deck I made after that was what you see right here. This is my Deep Sea Diva deck, which mainly utilizes, of course, the main star Deep Sea Diva, and well, does feature heavily this guy, as you can see here, Crystal Vibrax, which is a card that has been banned from Master Duel right now. However, it's not banned here because this little match here was made in March. Yeah, we still have a lot more Master Duel content to go before Halka Vibrax gets axed, including my favorite deck, Magic Key, which use this thing like crazy. But in the context of Deep Sea Diva, well, you don't really see much of it here. However, I do use Halka Vibrax in this deck, mainly for its second effect, as you'll see later on. And then you'll see this beast of a card, as I'm probably going to mention a bit later. So, yeah, Deep Sea Diva is a card I really wanted to use in something, and when I first heard that Diva has an archetype that hasn't been out in Duel Links, that got me interested in, making DC deck whenever I get an opportunity to. And now I have the opportunity to, well, it became one of my favorites. To the point that this guy just quits. Yeah. But no, we're going to go for like the real duels happening here, so. Alright, so. How does this deck work? So, for those who know what Deep Sea Diva is, but first, let's go talk about what this guy does, the Deep Sea Sentry. But first we get like the Prince, the Lantian Prince over here, because the Deep Sea Diva works well with Lantians just as much as Mermaids do, arguably better. So yeah, Deep Sea Sentry is that middle card I have in here. So what that does, it gets rid of Ash, and by that I mean you reveal it and then discard it, another water monster, then look at the opponent's hand and banish it to the end to the next turn. Which means, and this can't be ashed, I can just use it to get rid of Ash. Well, at least, get rid of Ash for the turn. So that I know that my opponent doesn't get Ash whenever I use Deep Sea Diva's normal summon. And because your Deep Sea Diva's effect kind of simple, if it's normal summon, I can special summon a level 3 or lower Sea Serpent from my deck, which is massive Ash bait. And this card over here is the result of it. What that thing does, if it's special summon, I can just banish stuff on top of my opponent's deck, which is really helpful. And what the thing does, it modulates level, so that I can get either, if I just do DC Diva and that thing, I can get either a level 7 Synchro or level 8 Synchro, which does play a lot. There's a lot of options in those levels, just those two. But anyway. As you can see, I did just use Halka Vibrax's combo effect to summon a tuner, to use it for a synchro summon. Who would have thought? But yeah, I mainly use the Marincess Marincess and Coral Anemone. I keep forgetting the name of that girl, even though I use her in more than one deck. I have an actual Marincess deck now. Point is, I keep forgetting using her and Hulk at the same time, which mainly means I get waterlocked, which is not that big a deal because this deck is mostly full of water monsters. I say mostly because I think Baron's in this deck now, but in this time you're gonna see the actual Quandax here, actually using it for Hakafab's intended effect to help with synchro summoning. Who would have thought? I could actually synchro summon with Hulk's effect. So yeah, I avoided Dolphin getting KO. Once I get the Anemone down, unfortunately. But yeah, this ends up being one of my favorite. Of course, this is March, and I have fixed fixed a little issues with the deck. I even think I added like some more monsters here, not just I think not just Barone, but I'm gonna have to redo this deck just a little bit. Well, one thing for me, like even though I do use Hulk in this deck, I don't use it that much. Like it's not that important to the deck, so I could just easily replace it with something else, and then it wouldn't be that big of a deal, which is a good thing. But for right now, the deck does need to get a little bit fixed. There's some fixings, but as you can see right now, I'm doing pretty well with Deep Sea. I'm in love with this deck. See you guys later for the next duel with this deck.